Welcome to Home Equity Secrets. I'm Carl Christian, CEO of the Nice Agent Co. Join me as we reveal how to learn to earn through smart homeownership. Discover expert insights, practical advice, and inspiring stories on turning your home into a powerful financial asset. Whether you are a first-time home buyer or a seasoned investor, let's unlock your home's true potential together. Welcome to Home Equity Secrets. Thank you for tuning into Home Equity Secrets. I'm Carl Christian, and I hope you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. Remember, you can learn to earn how to set up your real estate portfolio to achieve financial freedom. I dedicate my life to helping homeowners like you unlock the potential of their homes in South Florida. Hit me up if you're in the area and let's chat. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. For more tips and updates, follow us on social media and visit our website. Thank you for listening. Welcome to Home Equity Secret. My name is Carl Christian. I'm a broker of the Nice Agent Company. This is one of the episodes that you are about to very much like. I'm going to tell you why, because the first time we have an appraiser, and we know we've been having a lot of issues where people asking me why my property doesn't appraise, why the property is worth this and that. Now we can ask the right questions to the right person. Home Equity Secret is built for you. If you're an agent, a title company, a homeowner, you're going to get a lot of information out of that podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the podcast. So, Danielle Matthews, I would like you to introduce yourself to the whole family.
My name is Danielle Matthews. I'm a real estate appraiser. I've been an appraiser since 2003, so I have 22 years experience. I'm located in Broward County, and I cover St. Lucie down to Miami, and my business is Empire Appraisals, Inc.
We do have something in common. I started real estate in 2003 as well.
Oh, cool.
So you have 22 years, 22 long years.
Yep.
So question, why appraisals? Why not being an agent? Why not a mortgage broker? Why you picked appraisals?
So I was an agent, and I had very young kids, and I was spending my weekends showing properties, and my buyers were buying from the neighbor who had a for sale by owner or something like that. And I got frustrated and said, the appraiser gets paid every time they go to the door. So
that is true.
Addition to appraiser versus realtor.
That is so true. Now, I'm pretty sure you saw what happened in 2000. You saw what happened in 2004, 2005, then 2008 come. What are your predictions for this current market?
I don't predict the future because there's been other times I've thought that we're going to crash again, and we don't. I mean, at the end of the day, this is South Florida, and lots of cash comes from not only other states like New York, New Jersey, California. They come in buying high, but also from out of the country. So I don't know if we'll ever have another 2008, but I definitely am starting to see a correction.
I do. I see it myself as well, where, the market is slowly adjusting itself because the inflation was a little too much. Now, the other question that I wanted to ask is, how do you feel about, like, you guys, when you're doing an appraisal, do you guys take into account the tenants in the property, how much the tenants are paying? Does that bring any valuation to the property whatsoever?
It depends on how the appraisal is ordered. So okay. Is it ordered as an investment property and the bank wants to know, what is the rent and those kinds of things. But at the end of the day, the rent goes by market rent. So just because somebody's getting $5,000 a month rent doesn't mean that's market rent. That tenant may only stay for 1 year, whereas market rent is $4,500. So market rent goes by the comparables in the area, and it does not go by daily rents for Airbnb kind of a thing. That's not what an appraiser considers at all. It goes by monthly 12-month lease rents.
That makes perfect sense. There is something that you said that you provide to the public, which is a pre-listing appraisal. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yes. So I specialize in pre-listing appraisals, which is getting a private appraisal done prior to listing your home, maybe even prior to selecting an agent. I come in as a disinterested third party and I tell you how it is. I'm not going to promise you that your house is worth 700,000 all day long, where then it needs to be reduced 5 times to get to 650 where you finally get an offer. I'll come in and tell you exactly what the sales are in your area, what you're competing with. That's the most important right now. It's not just about what closed 6 months ago. It's about what's on the market right now and how many days on market and how many price reductions has there been. So with a pre-listing, I not only analyze your closed and your listings, but also tell you what you need to do to your property prior to the bank appraiser coming in. If you have any little needed repairs, if you're going to get an FHA contract, this is what needs to be done before the FHA appraiser comes out, as to not raise any red flags.
If you're a homeowner, I strongly recommend this, because let me tell you, whenever we as brokers, we put your property on the market and then we have to reduce it, believe it or not, a homeowner always think that, oh yeah, it's okay, it did not sell, just reduce. But the truth is, you're giving the impression that, number one, your property was overlisted, so whoever wants to make an offer, they're going to drop it more. So you either have that appraisal done and then Danielle tells you, hey, it's worth 550. Now you have an option: either you wait or you list. And I believe that's a very good idea, and I strongly recommend, if you're an agent, you're listening to us, please definitely contact Danielle about this. Danielle, do you also do, let's say, those flippers? Let's say I found a property that I want to buy, it's a wreck, and I would like to know, after I fix it, how much would it be worth? Would that be something you do as well?
Absolutely. I can
Awesome.
provide you an as is and an as repaired value. I did one last week for somebody buying a property in Boca. And the most important thing that I pointed out to him was the days on market are getting long.
Yeah.
So just know, going forward, you may take 3 to 6 months to renovate that property. You need to be pricing it aggressively when it re-enters the market, or you may sit for a while. So really helping people understand not only what the market is right now, but potentially what it could be in the future based on the listings that it's competing with.
That is amazing. And you also mentioned, when we're talking about divorce, any particular things that we should watch out for?
So I do divorce appraisals. The difference between a divorce appraisal and a purchase appraisal is typically that a divorce appraisal, the effective date is the date of divorce filing. So if you and your spouse filed for divorce 18 months ago and you're just now getting ready to go to court, it's not always about what is it worth right now. It's about what was it worth the date of filing, because that's when you froze your assets as a joint couple. So
I did not know that.
Yes, that's important, because the market's changing, and what it was worth 18 months ago is potentially not what it's worth today, good or bad.
Now, I'm curious. Okay, let's pretend that I filed 18 months ago, property was worth $500,000, and today it's worth like 550. What happened to that 50K?
That's for the judge to decide. Sometimes the party that's walking away from the home wants to know what was it worth as of the date of filing and currently, so they kind of understand. And a lot of times when it's worth more now, they'll push more for sale of the property, so that they do get that additional equity that is accrued.
Wow. Now, as an appraiser, any particular misconception that people have about appraisals themselves?
Sometimes people think that a refinance appraisal is different than a purchase appraisal, and it's really not. Just because you already own the property, the market value is the market value, whether you're refinancing it or you're selling it. So it's not that the appraiser is more conservative, or it always comes in lower when it's a refinance. That's not necessarily true. It's that most of the time the homeowner has an inflated sense of what their home is worth. Just because the home down the street sold for 700, maybe it had a newer pool, maybe it had a newer kitchen, maybe it had a newer roof, things like that. That $700,000 sale in your neighborhood doesn't automatically make every house worth 700.
That is so true. Now I'm about to ask the question that every homeowner, every agent that is listening to us would like to know, because we have that problem every single day. You see a property and then you send an offer that is FHA, and the agent tells you, no, we don't accept FHA. The appraisal is not going to be good. We don't accept it. What is the difference between an FHA appraisal and a conventional appraisal?
So FHA is more strict with their lending guidelines. Therefore, the appraisal is more detailed about needed repairs. And that's anything from paint peeling on the exterior of your home to, rotten fascia boards, to maybe your fence is damaged, things like that. That's a factor for an FHA appraiser. Whereas conventional, it's not really an issue. Peeling paint doesn't matter. The fascia boards, you can replace those after closing. So FHA, because they are more lenient with their credit score and their down payment, they're more strict on the lending. And so with those guidelines, a lot of people don't want to take an FHA buyer because of the repairs that will be required to be done prior to closing. So that's another reason for the pre-listing appraisal. If I come in and I just see a hot mess, I'll tell the seller, this is never going to appraise FHA. So do not even waste your time with an FHA contract, because you're going to need to spend $10,000 in repairs. The other issue is with FHA, the appraisal stays with the property for 6 months. So just because John Smith can't buy it, the next buyer that comes along 3 months later, that appraisal stays with the house, not only for the value, but the needed repairs. Whereas conventional, you can have a different appraiser every week and it's okay.
But does those repairs affect the value you come up with?
For FHA, they have to be repaired subject prior to closing. So an FHA appraisal with noted needed repairs is always subject to completion, and the repairs have to be done. For conventional, let's just say you've got some rotten fascia, falling down fence, you got an older kitchen, maybe your stove doesn't work. Those things are just lumped into the whole condition rating of, say, average or C4, and you don't need to repair them. But FHA requires those things to be functional. FHA wants the home to be livable and functional when that buyer moves in, because 9 times out of 10, that buyer doesn't have the money to do the repairs after closing.
Now, if somebody is listening to us and they will say, hey, it seems like Danielle knows what she's talking about, and I would like to enter the world of the appraisal world, what would you advise them if they want to become an appraiser?
Oh, I would not recommend that. Yeah, it's not an industry for someone to try to get into, because you have to train under somebody for a minimum of 2 years. And I couldn't tell you, as many appraisers taking on trainees in this ever-changing world. We've got big changes coming in. They lean more towards automated valuations and data collectors versus appraisers. So the appraiser industry is dying, but those with experience will be around for those tough assignments.
Wow. That I never thought about, but it is so true, because I've closed a few deals last year and they did not even do an appraisal. And now that you're saying that, it's coming to my mind that, wow, this is a problem.
Well, something I've seen with that is, if you're a buyer and you've got great credit, you got a nice down payment, and you qualify for that loan without getting an appraisal, you get an appraisal waiver. I still suggest go ahead and spend. It's $400 to $500 to get an appraisal done for your own peace of mind. Because I personally have seen issues where 2 years later you get a job transfer and you need to sell your home. You have to sell your home. It's not an option.
That's true.
And guess what? You overpaid. Even if you overpaid by $25,000, if you can't recoup that $25,000 in your resale, there's plenty of people that are screwed, that can't sell, what am I going to do now? So just because you think, oh, I got an appraisal waiver, it's all good, you might still want to get that private appraisal done just to make sure that that automated valuation is correct. Because if you're not in it for 20 years, you could have an issue.
And my thought process on this is the automated machine did not come into your house. There's so many things to be accounted for that the machine doesn't even know. Like those website that says, oh, your value of it's $587,000. And when I'm getting a listing, my homeowner is always telling me, Danielle, like, oh no, but this website said this. I'm like, but the data is here and I'm inside your house. Your kitchen is not as renovated as the one next door. Like, it is a very tough time to live on, because those data, they see them and they stuck by them. They like, yes, this is what I want. I have a property, literally, I've been selling for almost 9 months. She wanted to list the property for $630,000. And I'm like, no, it's not worth that. It's worth 480. No, it's 630. Like, I can't get the listing. I'm sorry. She went with someone else, put it for 630, fired the person, coming back. Like, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah, well, not only that, I just did one recently where I walked into the backyard of the property and guess what was behind the house? An Amazon distribution center. Oof. It was just Amazon truck after Amazon truck and the delivery trucks. And this goes on day and night. So that specific home was severely affected by traffic noise and external obsolescence. And that buyer that was coming from New York and just looked at it on Zillow, and their realtor did a walkthrough with their phone. And guess what? They didn't get to hear all that truck noise in the backyard.
Ooh, problems. All right, let's get a little technical. A house with a pool, a house without a pool. What is the value we give?
So an experienced appraiser will tell you it's not a flat number. That pool's not worth 50,000, 20,000, 100,000. It's worth a percentage of the sale price, right?
Wow.
So if the house next door sold for 500, but they have a pool, and that's the only difference between your house and their house, what's the difference that pool contributes? It's usually a percentage, and it's based on the age of the pool, the condition of the pool. Was it redone in the last couple of years? Those kinds of things. So that's what the appraiser's there to decide. Is it worth 5%? Is it worth 10%? It's not a flat number like back in the day where we said,
I know,
$10,000.
I'm learning so much. Okay, now let's go. What about a bedroom?
So bedrooms, a bedroom, I don't typically adjust for bedrooms. I adjust for overall square footage. So typically if a house is 3 bedrooms versus a 4-bedroom, there should be a difference of 100, 150 square feet. So you adjust by the square footage, not necessarily the bedroom count. That the home that doesn't have the 4 bedrooms could have a den, an office, a Florida room, something like that makes up the square footage. So it's value of use.
This is why you deal with experienced people, with professionals, because I'm going to be honest with you, even me today, I'm learning so much right now. And I've been in this business for 22 years. And yes, I'm going to say it. Oh, please forgive me. Yes, a pool is probably $25,000 to $35,000. That's what I used to say. And now I'm no longer going to say that. And I want to say thank you to you, Danielle, for teaching me that, because I used to do it. Like, yeah. Wow. Now I'm speechless. I don't even know what to ask. Danielle, if somebody want to contact you to do a pre-listing appraisal, how can they contact you?
I have a website. It's appraiserdani.com. Or my cell phone is 954-263-1312.
And I'm going to tell you, I will definitely contact you. And now I'm going to urge my sellers like, hey, we have this option. Just do the appraisal. We know exactly where we're at. The numbers don't lie. And then let's just go for it. I really, really appreciate that. Danielle, we have that one question we always ask everybody on the show. It is a personal opinion, so please let me know what you think. If you have a friend, a married couple, and they have toddlers at homes and they're sitting on a house with $500,000 worth of equity, what would you advise them to do?
I mean, the interest rates are a little high right now, but if it's in your best interest, I'm all about being a landlord. So I personally would take the equity and go buy myself a rental property.
I love that. I love that idea. And this is one of the things that I always tell everybody. Like an example, me, I came in the US, I had $65 in my pocket. Here I am today running $1 million companies. And I always say, what if I started with 300,000, with 400,000? Where would I be today? So this is what I tell everybody. This money could be the ticket for wealth. And if you know who to talk to, who to ask for advice, who to guide you, it can change your entire generation. So yes, I admire your answer because I love owning properties. For me, it's if you want to be successful at owning properties, it's listening to podcasts like ours. Because a lot of people, everybody think that they are selfish with information. It is not true. A lot of people are willing to give away the information. It's just you have to come and listen to it. Danielle, is there anything else you would like to share with the crowd? Telling them any advice, life advice is always welcome.
I've got something. So if you're getting married and you own property, get an appraisal done with an effective date as of the month of marriage. Why? Wow. Because if you get a divorce 2 years, 5 years, 20 years down the road, and that spouse wants a piece of the property that was yours prior to the marriage, you need to know what was it worth the date of marriage and what was it worth on the date of filing. And I learned that from an attorney doing her personal house. She said, you own real estate, you get an appraisal done when you marry that person. Even if you're going to use it as an investment property only and you're not going to cohabitate in it, as long as you guys own it and you're married, they're entitled to equity. So they're only entitled to the equity from the date of marriage to the date of divorce. So if you've got $500,000 in equity and you marry somebody, that's your equity, but you need to have an appraisal because going backwards 10 years is much more difficult than just getting that document just to be safe as of the date of marriage.
And this is how you're about to go viral. I'm telling you. You did mention something about why green financing when we were talking. Can you elaborate a little bit about this?
So that's on my website that when they were offering Y green financing, they would require an appraisal because the Y green was attached to your taxes.
Yeah.
And so you needed to know what your property was worth, for the tax increase. I don't think that's the case right now. I don't think they're doing the Y green the way that they were. But yeah, an appraisal was a case with Y green financing.
It's amazing. Danielle Matthews, this was an amazing podcast. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. This to me was eye-opening. And yes, if you're about to get married, please get an appraisal, contact Danielle because you never know. And that is something that I learned today as well. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep telling that to people. So thank you for so much, everybody, for listening and watching Home Equity Secret. Again, my name is Carl Christian. We had Danielle Matthews with us today. I want to say thank you. And if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to the Home Equity Secret podcast. Thank you for tuning into Home Equity Secrets. I'm Carl Christian, and I hope you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. Remember, you can learn to earn how to set up your real estate portfolio to achieve financial freedom. I dedicate my life to helping homeowners like you unlock the potential of their homes in South Florida. Hit me up if you're in the area and let's chat. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. For more tips and updates, follow us on social media and visit our website. Thank you for listening.